11 Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
Welcome one and all to the greatest spectacle on pixelated gridiron. It is the Simulation Football League. Tonight we are in San Francisco to watch the 3-5 Sharks take on the 6-1 Seattle Tyrants. In the broadcast booth tonight, Jeff Lowe with Ramos Lynn. Ramos, how are you feeling so far?
I'm great. I think we are off for a great game. I think that we will have two quarterbacks that will just air it out all day long, especially San Francisco. Two great receivers to pair up with a very good rookie quarterback. I think we're going to have a lot of fun today.
And talk about great receivers. I think you're selling them a bit short. San Francisco's got Matt Burnham, the leading wide receiver, over 1,000 yards already on the season.
Yeah, and they have Gabriel Manning as well, who is a threat in the return game and in the passing game. He's the #1 wide receiver, and Angus McLean will target him a lot.
On the other side, Jacques Luyendula, young quarterback for the Seattle Tyrants. He's had quite a season as well. Look at his QBR there, Ramos.
It's impressive. It's like off the charts. He's second in the league just behind Matt Wilson. And you have to think that if Seattle is going to the playoffs just like they are right now on path to going to the playoffs, he's a serious candidate for MVP.
Well, I certainly cannot get any more excited for this game. I do want to give a big thank you to Chad Rowland, who will be working stats for us this evening. And of course, Cameron Irvine on the broadcast. We are getting set and ready to go. Ramos, give us a quick rundown. What do you expect from this game?
I think that we will have a game where both quarterbacks will try to test the middle of both defenses. The corners are very good on both teams, but they can be a little bit susceptible in the linebacker area.
Well, Seattle will get the first attempt on offense. They bring it all the way out to the 31-yard line. And again, this game could very easily turn into a shootout between these two quarterbacks, Angus McLean and Jacques Luyendula. And let's see what Seattle has for their first drive. Luyendula under center now. He drops back over the middle. Quick catch, and he's down to just over the 40. A good first pass.
And that's the middle of the field. That's the zone that I think they will attack him with Tristan Carr and those receivers.
Mason Kirby on the reception, getting involved early. And of course, we didn't talk about it too much, but Seattle, they do have a quality running back in Zach Sandlin. He's had quite a season so far. So they'll throw it out over the middle again, this time caught by the tight end Tristan Carr. Gets all the way down to the San Francisco 44. 2 plays and already about 40 yards.
Completely wide open. I'm surprised San Francisco left him that wide open, to be honest with you.
We'll see if they keep targeting him. So many threats on this Seattle offense. First and 10 from the San Francisco 44. There's the handoff. Straight up the middle. Picks up about 15 on the play. Beautiful way to get into the game. Zach Sandlin.
Yeah, and it just a bad pursuit angle by the defender. He had it maybe for just a 3 or 4 yard game, and instead Zach Sandlin gets a big first down, and now they're in field goal range.
When we talk about how much the running game works in relation to the air game, if you can start hammering the defense on the ground, as Sandlin's going to break for another long run, almost gets another first down. If he can continue to run the ball like this, there's going to be so much opened up over the air.
Absolutely, and they are going man-to-man. San Francisco is doing man-to-man defense, and that leaves the linebackers one-on-one against Zach Sandlin, and they're not getting the job done.
Seattle absolutely charging down the field on their first possession. Here's Luyendula back in the pocket. Good play that time by the quarterback, Sim Franco Jr., the rookie.
Yeah, great job just putting a hand on it. And I'm surprised they went with a pass. I mean, 2nd down and 1, Zach Sandlin has been very effective. I was expecting another run, but, they know that they have a 3rd down, so number 32 could get a carry here up the middle.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them do exactly that. Sandlin is in the backfield. 2 wide receivers on this play. It does look like San Francisco is expecting the run. We'll see if they guess right. There's the handoff straight up the middle. Here goes Sandlin. My goodness. He's averaged just about 10 yards on 4 carries so far.
Yeah, and this defensive line is just getting manhandled by the Seattle Tyrants offense. On the pass, all day to throw, and on the run, Zach Sandlin just has avenues to run.
1st and goal from the 10. They'll hand the ball off one more time. Can't quite get past the line of scrimmage there, so he picks up about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Yeah, way better job there pursued by the linebacking core.
Seattle off to a hot start in this game. They are coming off a loss to Baltimore last week. They throw it out to the left side there, just out of the hands of the receiver. It's going to set up a long 3rd and goal now. Senior the 3rd can't quite haul it in. Had time. He was falling backwards as he was trying to make the catch. Solid defensive play. But either way, it's going to be a long conversion. We'll see if Seattle can punch their ticket here early on in the 1st quarter.
San Francisco just has one job: protect the end zone.
Let's see if they can do just that. Luyendula drops back to pass. He scans, fires to his right. It's caught on about the 4-yard line, and he will be dropped all the way back at the 6. Not the play you want to see them to run there. Why not take a shot in the end zone?
Yeah, I think it was just well covered. I think about 7 different sharks were right there. So just, don't throw an interception and get the 3 points.
They will line up for the kick here. Chip Longfellow on the field, trying to make it 3-0 in favor of Seattle, and they take it all the way down the field. It is up and through, so a 3-0 lead for Seattle. They had a solid drive going. It seemed like they couldn't be stopped, but once they got down to that 10-yard line, just nothing doing.
I agree, and this is a good job by San Francisco, and just bend but not break. As simple as that. Seattle will move the ball. They're just too good off an offense. But if they can limit to 3 points, and if San Francisco can go down the field and get 7, they will be in a good spot.
There is the kick all the way down the field. Solid return out to the San Francisco 30-yard line there. Gabriel Manning on the return as always, and taking a look at the receiving yards. Matt Burnham, we will get to see him here, and Gabriel Manning as well in that 5th slot. Matt Burnham, the only receiver in the league, Ramos, to receive for over 1,000 yards so far.
Yeah, coming into the week, and he is amazing. He is so big, and he is so quick. At the number 2 receiver, he lines up against the number 2 corner.
There's the first pass from McClain. He was looking for Manning. Looks like it bounced off a couple of different people out there over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, good job right there in defending by the Seattle Tyrants. First play, just the middle of the field, and Gabriel Manning was running that type of, drag route.
It's our first look at Angus McClain here in the 1st quarter. We'll see how he fares. 0 for 1 as he was looking for Manning on that last play. I would not be surprised to see Manning targeted quite a bit. There's the handoff to the running back up the middle. It's about 2 yards. Powers on the carry.
And San Francisco doesn't use Powers that too much, but when they do, it's a good change of pace. They like to throw the ball. He's quick, and he can get a couple yards and make it more manageable 3rd down. But Seattle off to strong.
When you have 2 of the best receivers in the league, you might as well utilize them. Makes Angus McLean's job that much easier as he's going to be in the pocket. Now over the middle, it's intercepted. Beautiful catch, and he's going to take it for 6. What a play. My word, touchdown, Seattle.
And that's Mahmoud Ashlaouni, the safety, Pro Bowl level safety right there, just playing in that middle of the field. You know, normally safeties go, deep, play center fielder, but they were expecting those slant plays, those slant routes, because they love to do it. San Francisco does. And Mahmoud Ashlaouni just takes it to the end zone.
That has to be absolutely deflating if you are the San Francisco defense. I mean, you stop a great drive from Seattle and instantly a pick 6 given up on the other side.
Yeah, I agree. And Angus McLean in the last couple weeks, off to a rough stretch. Last week, 0 touchdowns, 6 picks against Mexico City, and now he's 0-1 here against Seattle in the first quarter.
The extra point is up and good. So Seattle, a 10-0 lead. 6:43 to go, and Mahmoud Ashlaouni on the interception, pick 6. He's going to come right back out onto the field here after the return. And it is worth mentioning, Ramos, that Gabriel Manning only needs 1 kick return or punt return for a touchdown to tie the all-time lead.
Yeah, he is crazy. I mean, I didn't think I was going to see somebody better than Koma Kaleka ever in history. For the ones who don't know who Koma Kaleka is, great all-time safety for the Minneapolis Maulers and an amazing return. And I had to say, I mean, Gabriel Manning is better.
We take a look at the Twitch chat reacting to that pick 6 by Ashlaouni. It was quite wonderful. If you want to join in on the chat, please visit our Twitch page, twitch.tv/11sports. Next, all of the live chat, you can join in that as well. We appreciate all of you watching, as that is a pass Angus McLean will probably want back. Throws his running back out of the sideline.
And, Angus McLean, maybe a little bit gun shy from here on out because he just got pick 6, but you have to throw the ball to Burnham. You have to throw the ball to Gabriel Manning. Those are your guys. And if you want to win this game, you have to trust your all-pro players.
Let's see how he recovers from this. Instantly on the field after that pick 6. He'll drop back to throw yet again. Dumps it off. Ooh, big hit right at the line of scrimmage. Only gets about a yard.
And going to the fullback, and Seattle had an interesting defensive play right there. They get some pressure of the front man, and then just drop everybody back. It's just keep everything in front of them because they know these receivers can burn in deep.
Calvin Bryant, the fullback, who did make that catch. As this one's over the middle. There is Gabriel Manning, but it's not enough for the first down. He does get his first reception, but they're going to have to punt it away.
Yeah, great job again defensively. And they are liking to have just one deep safety and having either Vasquez or Mahmoud Ashlaouni in that middle of the field, just trying to stop those slant routes or drag routes or whatever they want to do, and just keep them behind the sticks. And again, now they go 3 and out, and Seattle will get the ball back with a 10-0 lead.
Now, I did want to ask you, Ramos. Well, actually, we are going to go ahead and take a short break. I'll get back around to my question after this punt and after the break, as that one's going to go all the way down to the 40. We will take a very short break. Has been an exciting game so far. Seattle leads San Francisco 10-0. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music here on 11 Sports. Welcome back to Seattle. I'm sorry, San Francisco. We are in San Francisco. Seattle has the ball here after that punt. They'll start at their own 41-yard line. There's Zach Sandlin again, chunking away. Picks up 7 on the run.
And Zach Zanlin is no jokes, no tricks. He just likes to lower the shoulders and run over people. That's his game.
We see there's Zach Sandlin, 5th in the league coming into this week in rushing yards, 852 on the season. And it is crazy to me how many yards Reggie Streeter has. I mean, you saw him there, 1,500 yards already. So that's a good pass out to the receiver there. Good pickup. It will be 1st and 10 from the 44.
Yeah, and going back to Reggie Streeter, you have to think, I mean, after a 425-yard performance a few weeks back, which is the new SFL record, you have to think he's the front runner for league MVP at this.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier on before the broadcast as he gets hit while he throws, almost intercepted.
Oh.
My word. Barry Barkley had the ball in his hands, but he dropped it.
Yeah, and that's the opportunity for San Francisco. They have a good pass rush. I mean, they guys like Franco Sonati up front. So, they need to put pressure on Seattle because if they can force Luyendula to errant throws, Camden Hoffman and those guys are back deep to, get some interceptions, and they really need it down 10 points.
It is 2nd and 10 from the San Francisco 44. Luyendula in the gun. He's got 4 receivers. Throws it to his tight end. Good catch. Picks up enough for the 1st down. And again, Seattle, they just seem to do what they want marching down the field. So that was Tristan Carr on the reception. 2nd season with the Tyrants. They're going to snap the ball quickly over the middle one more time. Out to the left side. Picks up another 1st down. They find themselves in the red zone once more.
This offense is just amazing. I mean, I have to tell you, if one receiver is blocked or covered, Bakadu all of a sudden appears for a big game, completely wide open.
One of the backup wide receivers for that team, and it can be worth getting those players involved, like you mentioned. If everybody else is covered, sometimes you can sneak one or two of those plays. It picks up a good chunk of yards, just like it did there. 1st and 10 from the San Francisco 20. In the red zone yet again early in this game for Seattle. Dodges the 1st hit, gets taken down. A combo play, but the whole front end gets to him.
That's the pressure. Those are those guys. They need to put pressure on the quarterback, and they're finally able to do so. Jack Luyendula, no time to throw. All 4 Sharks meet me at the quarterback for a set.
And one of those, just one of those plays. The whole front line gets broken down. Nowhere to go for the quarterback. They will hand it off to Sandlin, and again, picking up so many yards. Takes it down to a 3rd and 5, and it's manageable now.
That's what a great running back like Zach Zanlin does. I mean, he turns a 2nd and 15 into a 3rd and 5 by running the ball. He picks up his hole perfectly right there. Chad Guy pursued to the A gap, and Zach Zanlin went to the B gap for 10 yards.
Zach Sandlin, 6 runs for 64 yards. That's over 10-yard average. Again, this is early in the game, but still quite a good rushing total. They don't get by the 1st down marker, and again, it's going to hurt them. They had a play very similar to this in their 1st drive, and they'll have to kick yet again.
That's such a hard play to do. Camden Hoffman has to do man-to-man coverage on Junior Senior the third, one of the best receivers in the league, chase him from behind and tackle him in the open field. Not easy to do, and San Francisco's defense has done their job here in the just 2 field goals.
There it is. 3 up and through. It will be 13-0 for Seattle. We're going to head to a very short break. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on 11 Sports. We are back in San Francisco. Ramos, the Sharks, they suffered a crushing defeat last week. There's no other way to put it. Do you think it's affecting them coming into this game?
It could, however.
Let's hold that thought as Gabriel Manning has sprung. He will find the touchdown and he will tie the league record for total kickoff touchdowns. My word.
That's the goat. That's it. That's it. Number 18, the best one in SFL history by far in my book.
Breaks a tackle up the middle. He's just not afraid. He goes through everybody and returns it all the way for the touchdown. Gabriel Manning, simply sensational, Ramos.
Yeah, for the second game in a row, a kick return for a touchdown and put San Francisco right back into this game because the defense has not been half bad. I mean, they have allowed some yards, but in the red zone, they're really playing nice defense. So right back in the game.
Assuming this PAT does go through, we'll be 13-7, and that's a tough snap. He does get it down, and it is in. So we'll be 13-7. And while those kick returns are certainly something wonderful for the Sharks, you know, the defense, 2 tough drives. They made 2 good stops, but they've got to go directly back onto the field.
And I agree. I mean, that defensive line, you have to think, is a little bit gassed at this point, and they're playing man-to-man coverage. So, you know, the corners have to be also a little bit tired at this point. But, you know, it's the opportunity for San Francisco to get a 3 and out that they have the momentum and get the ball back to the offense.
There's a return out to the 30. That's where Seattle will take over, and we haven't seen an offense score a TD yet in this game, Ramos. Not something we normally see, especially when there's already 2 on the board.
And especially when you have guys like Matt Burnham at the receiver spot and Junior Senior the third and Zandlin and those guys. But, you know, this is one kind of game where you can score in so many ways because of the weapons they're on the field.
Once more, Seattle gets a chance to move down the field. First pass is complete. Again, mixing it up a little bit, finding those backup wide receivers.
And for a first down, and again, it's not Junior Senior the third. It's not Tristan Carback. Moving the chains one more time, and you know he's the guy who's against that number 3, number 4 corner, and in the man-to-man, they think that they have the mismatch.
It is 1st and 10, and Seattle has been able to move the chains effectively, and here is the main reason why Zach Sandlin again picks up 9 on the carry.
The reigning MVP with 9 yards, and this San Francisco defense cannot seal the gaps. That's the problem right now. You know, if he gets to the 2nd and 3rd level, that's just so hard to do. You have to stop in at the first level of defense and seal those gaps.
Zach Sandlin in his 2nd year, both of them with the Tyrants. Dula tries to step up. He can't get by the defender. Another sack on the board for the Sharks.
Great job on the pressure by San Francisco, and great job on making it happen, as now they will be in a 3rd and 5, and can they hold? I mean, I think they will go man-to-man coverage once again, as they like to do on 3rd down, and can they stop Tristan Carr in the middle of the field is the question. Man-to-man against the linebacker, look at that. I mean, the middle of the field could be wide open.
Well, he fakes, he steps up in the pocket, he's looking to run, but he won't get there. Chris Leone, he had the sack, he gets the tackle to save the drive. They'll have to punt it away again.
Wow, beautiful job again in coverage by the secondary. Nobody was open, and Jack Luyendula, he is a great pass.
That will do it for the first quarter. We will go ahead and take a very short break. When we come back to San Francisco, start of the 2nd. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music right here on 11 Sports. Tonight's Simulation Football League broadcast on 11 Sports is presented by APM Music, Production Music Library, and Custom Music House. Brought to you in part by Fuel Beyond Imagination. Visit the all-new SFLinteractive.net today. By Matt Doyle Designs, the official branding partner of the SFL. And by MediaTek Institute. Turn your passion into your profession. Aerial shots brought to you by AirViews United by Drone. Visit airviews.com to see more drone footage. That's AIRVUZ.com. We see lovely, lovely San Francisco. We are back. Second quarter underway. Seattle will punt the ball off. There's Manning, who just returned a kickoff for a touchdown. Doesn't get much on that, but they will start from the 21.
Yeah, good punt coverage on that play, but you know, Gabriel Manning, and he returns just one right now, but you never know. He could return another one here later on in this game. That's how good he is. And here offensively, he needs to contribute. He has not been able to get open for a good yardage. The Seattle defense doing a great job so far.
Let's see what Angus McLean can bring to the table. Hasn't had the greatest of nights thus far. There's a bomb down the left side. Is hauled in by Manning. That's a good play to start the drive.
And that's what I was saying, you know, getting open just like that. And Gabriel Manning, really good route runner. We know he has a lot of speed. And right there was the safety's responsibility to get to the area, and Mureslani was not there on time. Good job on the pass, and a great catch by number 8.
Yeah, Gabriel Manning. 2 receptions on 3 targets so far tonight, 21 yards. Big thank you to Chad Rowland working the stats for us this evening. Here's a 5-wide set for San Francisco. They'll throw it over the middle. It's bobbled and caught. My word, it bounced off of 2 people. Eventually hauled in. Matt Burnham gets his first reception of the night.
I mean, sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be open, I guess I can say in this case, because he's very good. But, you know, San Francisco will take it, and now they're 2nd and 1. Playbook opens up. They can even run the ball here up the gut.
We'll see if they do hand it off to Powers. McLean doesn't like what he sees in the defense, so he's going to change it up. Opts to hand it off. Powers will pick up the first. Brings it all the way down to about midfield.
And Seattle went with a 3-3 defense. Obviously, you know, the personnel of San Francisco, but, you know, the field was open at the middle of the field with a fullback and the offensive lineman, so good call.
Here on first down, San Francisco looking to pressure the quarterback. Can't really get to him. That's a catch by Powers over the middle. He'll pick up 6. And we talked about how they don't utilize Powers too often, but in a game like this where where teams are expecting you to throw the ball, when you've got 2 star wide receivers, it can be worthwhile to utilize him at least a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And Seattle is doing the same thing with Vakadu. And, you know, obviously San Francisco with the running back has good hands and has a lot of speed.
Hand the ball off one more time right up the middle. This time it's Kelvin Bryant on the carry. We'll bring that down to the 41, 3rd and 1.
And with a 3rd and 1, you know, it's a tricky situation. I think that Seattle will expect another run up the gut, and I think they will pass the ball here to Matt Burnham. Look at all the cushion. It could be an out route here.
Well, they decide to hand the ball off. Picks up the first down. Certainly opting for the run. Maybe they're just trying to get McLean into the game a little bit more after that pick 6 earlier.
Yeah, they're trying to get McLean and Powers into the game. You know, in the first quarter, he was not very active, but now he gets a couple carries, a catch, a couple of first down, really building that momentum on him.
We'll see what they decide to do here on first down. They line up like they are looking to run. He does drop back to pass. Throws it over to Powers, who picks up just about 2. Can't quite turn the edge there.
Yeah, a good job defensively. They were expecting that little throw. Powers gets just a couple yards. I don't think they're yet in field goal range, but San Francisco with the best offensive drive by far of the.
You can see Gabriel Manning on your screen there. Expect to see him targeted, especially in these long situations. At the bottom of your screen as well, Matt Burnham. Once more they go to Powers. He doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Great job covering that pass. E.K. Vincent on the tackle.
Yeah, and you have to think that maybe Powers is a little bit tired. You know, he has been here all drive long, and he has gotten the ball about 5 or 6 different times in just this drive alone. San Francisco, I think.
We've seen this 5 wide set once already today. They'll go back to it again. Pass over the middle. It's caught, but not enough for the first down. Can't quite get past the sticks. We've seen that plague both teams so far. Judge on the reception. It's going to be 4th and 3.
I think this will be field goal range. It's hard. You know, we have good weather here, sunny outside, but definitely not easy.
Well, Chris Long's going to attempt it. Looks to be about a 47-yarder. It's up. Does he have the distance? He does. He had the distance. It looked like it went wide left. So Seattle will take over after that kick. And you said it. That's a tough one. We are going to go ahead and take a very short break. When we come back, Seattle with the ball. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music right here on 11 Sports. We are back in San Francisco. Seattle with the ball. They're looking to attack on even more points. Again, no offensive touchdowns have been scored yet in this game. They hand it off to Sandlin to start off the drive, and I think this is the first time he hasn't gotten at least 5 yards on a carry. So we'll be 2nd and 10 from their own 36. Shockley and Dula 8 for 11 so far today. Hand the ball off one more time. There's Sandlin busting for an 8-yard gain. Brings it all the way to the 45.
Yeah, way better job right there by the offensive line. In the previous play, the outside linebacker blitzed, and they got Sandlin in the backfield. But now the offensive line does a tremendous job opening up there.
For Seattle, this is a very important drive. Would love to get some points before the half, especially if they can run the time out. They'll hand it off to Sandlin. He doesn't get there. Had a hole, couldn't quite reach it. It's 4th and inches. Do they go for it, Ramos?
I will punt. Listen, the only time the San Francisco Sharks have scored this game is by a punt return, well, actually kick return. I will punt the ball as far as I can. If I can do it angled, it will be better. Offense on the field.
Yeah, the offense is on the field. It is 4th and inches. Will they go for it, or are they just going to try to draw them off sides? Let's find out now. Looks like they're waiting. Wasting time. Play clock down to 4. They will take the timeout. So it does look like they will punt the ball away. San Francisco not taking the bait. And honestly, I think this is a good decision.
Yes, I mean, at the same time, your defense has been very good. San Francisco has not been able to score offensively, as you're saying. They struggled last week as well. So Seattle is saying, hey, we have a good game plan against these guys. And why not just punt the ball and play some defense?
Well, let's hope that the punt doesn't necessarily find its way into Gabriel Manning's hands. Really the only producer so far for San Francisco. He will have a chance to return this one. Collects it at just about the 20, spins, breaks a couple of tackles, brings it out to the 32. And man, he can turn so little into so much.
Probably the most talented player in the league as far as just having a full repertoire of great route runner, great speed, great agility, great vision, moves.
If you are enjoying this production of the Simulation Football League, please make sure to follow us on social media. Instagram at SimulationFL, same on Twitter as well. As 1st and 10, good throw over the middle. Collecting that one is LJ Smith, the undrafted rookie coming into the season for the Sharks.
Yeah, this is, I think, the first time they target him. If I have this correctly, and good job by the Sharks and
there's a run. Doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Solid defensive stop that time. Denzel Maverick first on the scene.
Yeah, Denzel Maverick quiet in this game so far, but he's one of the best pass rushers in the SFL. Up the middle, he has Roykin also in the defensive line and this Seattle front four is just tenacious.
Number 45, Angel Salinas in his first game for the Seattle defense. That's a good pass over the middle. Matt Burnham on the catch, and he will bring it all the way out to the 50. I'm surprised they haven't targeted Burnham more so far in this game.
Me too. Obviously, Seattle has good corners outside, but I'm surprised they haven't done a little bit more crossing routes and misdirection routes, stuff like they can get him involved.
That's a good pass over the middle. It's intercepted. Looking for LJ Smith. He can't haul it in, and Ajloni gets his second of the game.
And that's just a little bit overthrown. That's a good route that they like to do, but Mahmoud Ajloni just gets ahead of the receiver and makes a big-time interception, his second of the day. And in the last two games, now Angus McLean, 0 touchdowns and 8 picks. He needs to get off this back.
I'm sure Ajloni is thrilled with the interception, but perhaps a bit disappointed. His last one went for 6. There's a penalty on this play. Almost picked off again. We'll have to see what that is. Might be false start. By the way, it was an incomplete pass over the middle. Yeah, it looks like offsides. Uncharacteristic penalty, I think, there against the Sharks.
Yeah, especially because they have a lot of talent in that defensive line, but they want to get the ball back to their offense, and they just got a little bit jumpy there.
Yeah, a bit eager. Chris Leone has had a good game up to this point. Did take the penalty there, but he's had a sack and a very important tackle on a 3rd and short. Now Jacques Luyendula hands the ball off. There's Sandlin charging his way up the middle. Picks up just about 15 yards on that carry. And again, Sandlin just running all over this front line.
And, generally they have done a tremendous job up front, the offensive line has. Especially against this San Francisco Sharks defensive line, which is not easy. It's just not easy. They a couple of big-time guys, 3 big-time guys, actually, Sonati, Leon, and Zach. And that offensive line holding their ground.
It is 1st and 10 from the 43. They'll hand the ball off one more time to Sandlin. He gets about 4. I mean, if he's going to be chunking for as much as he had, why do you not just give it to him every down until they stop it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why limited yourself to something that is working pretty much all the time for at least minimum 4 or 5 yards a pop?
They do look like they are looking to run here. They will hand the ball off, and he's got another hole, but he gets drilled right at midfield. Chad Guy stepping up, hitting him hard. With that, we will take a 2-minute warning break. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music right here on 11 Sports. Welcome back to San Francisco. Final 2 minutes of the first quarter. Zach Sandlin just got his bell rung by Chad Guy. Kind of happy for the small break we had there. We'll see if they give the ball back to him again, and he gets hit one more time. Chad Guy taking him down. He can't get the first.
And for as good as Zach Sandlin has been, when it's time to make a stop, San Francisco has made those stops. Chad Guy, tackling machine, absolutely. 87 tackles coming into this week.
87, second in the league. He gets 2 more at the very least. 2 hard shots right onto Sandlin, and now Seattle will have to punt it away to San Francisco. They aren't going to waste as much time as possible here. Let's see what Gabriel Manning has. We can't not mention him. He will opt for a fair catch this time. Nothing doing for him. So the Sharks, they get the ball back on the 16. They've got 1:14 to go. It's time to start airing it out.
See, I agree, and not because it's time to panic or anything. Obviously, 1:14, you still have 3 timeouts. But you know, that's the strength. They need to get Gary Manning on those deep routes and Matt Burnham on those corner and post routes.
Manning at the top of your screen. Burnham at the bottom. They will throw it to Manning. He makes the catch, steps out of bounds, 4-yard gain out to the 20.
Not a terrible start. I mean, obviously, you want to get the chunk play so you can get in field goal range, but at the same time, 71 seconds and 3 timeouts gives you enough time, for the first 2-3 plays, throw the ball short, and then try to test the middle of the field probably, or a deep corner route.
You're in a 2-back set now. They'll take the snap, opts to hand the ball off, gets drilled right at the first down marker. But they do pick it up. It will be 1st and 10 from the 26. They haven't used the timeout.
And no sense of hurrying. I mean, they do have a chance to score before the half, and
it just looks like they don't want to go for it. They're lining up again with this 2-back set. I wouldn't be surprised if they hand it off. Interesting call. They do drop back to throw. Pump fakes. Down the right side. It's intercepted again. Cain Vasquez steps up, takes it away, and this is dangerous now. Seattle has the ball back with at least a little bit of time.
And this safeties, I mean, you just cannot play against them. Historically, this franchise, from the moment that were the Dallas Roughnecks and the Dallas Lobos, their safety play from Troy Lawshaw back in the day and all those guys, Carlo Montero, they have been on point for years.
You talk about the safety set. Both of them combined for 3 interceptions so far today. There's a pass over the middle. It's caught, brings them down to the 37. Good catch. That time Aaron Judge. They line up in the hurry-up offense. Taking his time, though. Over the middle. Good play. Breaks up the pass. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, very dangerous in triple coverage.
So they're very close to field goal range. You'd imagine they want probably another 10 yards to be safe.
You will say so. Honestly, I will run the ball here with, they're in an empty set, but I will run the ball here with Zach Sandlin. You still have 2 timeouts.
We'll see what does happen now as they throw it over the middle. Good catch. They will take a timeout. I believe that was Tristan Carr on the reception. It was. So 3rd and 1 from the 28. Do you take a shot at the end zone, or do you play it safe here?
I actually...
Well, they actually will run the kicker on the field. 13 seconds to go. They opt not for another play unless they're trying to draw the defense off sides. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. That is Chip Longfellow on for the kick. It's up and away, and it is good. Straight through the middle. Tacks on 3 with only 8 seconds left to go in the half. They will kick the ball away, but man, so many points off of the defensive stops, the interceptions from the Tyrants.
Yeah, and San Francisco's defense has really kept him in the game. 9 points allowed just by the defense, and 3 of those 9 points of the turnover, obviously by Kane Baskets right now. So this defense has done their job. Let's see if Gabriel Manning can give another spark here.
Yeah. Can he run this one all the way back? Can't break through the tackles there. So with 5 seconds left, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Sharks maybe run one final play before we do have to go to halftime. 16-7. And again, Ramos, it feels like we're beating a dead horse, but there has not been a touchdown by an offensive unit so far in this game.
And it cannot be overstated. I mean, that's an amazing and surprising stat. I mean, Matt Burnham, Gabriel Manning, Zach Zandlin, Junior, Senior the Third, Tristan Carr, Jack Loyendula, all of those guys, and literally no touchdowns off.
The only 2 touchdowns we've seen was a pick 6 by Mahmoud Ajloni and a kickoff return for a touchdown by Gabriel Manning, which again, if you did miss that, that was his tying kick return TD, tying all time, I should say, kick return TD. 1 second left. This will be the final play, assuming there are no penalties. They decide to hand the ball off. And that will do it for the second half. Ramos, it has been certainly an interesting one, and I'm really excited to see what half number 2 holds for us.
Dude, I mean, it could be like the previous game we saw between Alaska and Queen City. For the longest, no team could score. It was 7-0, like midway through the third quarter, and then the offenses explode. It could be just like that in this game. 16-7 at this. This offenses are very capable of just blowing it up and turning this game into the 30s, 37-30 or something like that, because they're very capable of doing so.
Yeah, absolutely, and Jack Loyendula having a pretty good day, all things considered. He's 11 for 15, 108 yards. His counterpart in Angus McLean, not so hot. He is 11 for 16 for 69 yards, but it's already thrown 3 interceptions on the day.
Yeah, and looking at the running backs, Zach Zandlin has 13 carries and 88 yards, so that's a high average.
Well, the second half is underway. Gabriel Manning brings it all the way out to the 30. Again, he did have a kick return for a touchdown in the first half. The only points so far on the board for the Sharks. They will get the ball to start us off in the third quarter. Let's see if they've made any changes over the halftime break. And, of course, Jeff Lowe, Ramos Lynn in the broadcasting booth with you this evening. Chad Rowland working the stats, and a big thank you to him. Carry by Powers only gains a yard. And if you're interested in joining the Simulation Football League, visit our website, simulationfl.net. You can get all kinds of cool info, not just on how to join, but all of the information on the league, the standings, the stats. It's a very, very awesome website. I love it so very much. And maybe you could see yourself on the field. But, Ramos, there's more to do than just be a player in this league.
You can be a coach, a scout. You can be part of just a team staff, just assisting teams, beat writing team in the website. There's so much to do, and everything is so fun. You can be here part of the commentators crew, and it's a great chance here in the league.
Oh, it was bobbled. My word, I thought it was another interception just out of the hands of Vasquez. He was thinking 6 all the way.
Man, that was as close as you will get from another pick 6 here. Seattle, who comes here in the second half, super strong, and will quickly get the ball back. I mean, not even a minute and a half into the third quarter, and the offense will be.
Yeah, 3 and out for San Francisco. Not how they wanted to start the second half. We'll go ahead and punt it away now. That's Robert Temps in for the kick. It's fielded at about the 40. Doesn't get any further than that. I'm sorry, fielded at the 30. Gets all the way to the 33. And again, please make sure you follow us on Twitter at SimulationFL. Use the hashtag Make an Impact. Spread the word of our league. It is so very wonderful to see all of the tweets. We review them in our little broadcast meetings as well. We love to see all of the support and suggestions that you guys have. So please make sure you utilize that as much as possible. Now Seattle will hand it off to Zach Sandlin. He doesn't pick up anything there, but it seems like the Sharks, they're kind of getting privy to it. Chad Guy's finally getting in there, disrupting some plays.
Yeah, I agree. And, the question is, for how long can this San Francisco defense keep them in the game? Right now it's still a manageable 9-point. You have to think if they allow another touchdown, could this potentially be game?
That's a pass over the middle. Good completion. Mason Kirby on the catch. Brings it out to the 48. And you do bring up a good point. With the struggles of Angus McLean so far today, he's thrown 3 interceptions. His defense has absolutely bailed him out.
Completely wide open.
So 1st and 10 from Seattle 48. Oh, there's a false start. Free play. They will hand it off to Sandlin. He doesn't get anywhere, but they will get the yardage on the penalty. See what the call is. And there it is, neutral zone infraction given to us by R62. Thank you so very much. Once again, that's Chris Leone. He has had a good game, but a couple of rookie mistakes now to take these penalties.
Yeah, and it's normal to see, primetime game. It's common to see rookies make a couple of mental mistakes and penalties, but we've seen a lot of potential.
It will be 1st and 5 after that penalty. Uyundula changing the play on the line. Going to hand the ball off. So much open space. Sandlin brings it all the way down. He gets hit by Chad Guy again. And it seems like every time Chad Guy can get a beat on Sandlin, he's going to run him over.
Yeah, that's the one-on-one. Number 54 against number 32. That's the one-on-one. And, that's going to be his responsibility all day in this man-to-man coverage.
Again, Chad Guy, 2nd in the league coming into this in tackles. Sandlin didn't like what he saw up front, tried to break it out to the edge, couldn't quite get there.
Great vision. He had a little bit of room on the outside, but great pursuit by Chris Leone and company.
And this is a scary, scary defensive line for San Francisco. I know that we've talked about it. Franco Sonati, Chris Leone, Dede Sachs. We haven't really called his name. He's always in the play as well. They both fired over the middle. That time Tristan Carr on the reception. But that's the interesting part to me, is how well the run has been doing for Seattle against such a good line like this.
Yeah, and I think they're using kind of their aggressiveness against them on those inside runs. Just basically let him pass, and the hole will open. It's just because they are just so eager to get some pressure on the quarterback.
Well, Seattle continues to drive. They have themselves another 1st down, this time from the San Francisco 28. Long drop. Uyundula to the right side. It's caught all the way down to the San Francisco 10. Nick Castle, the Week 7 signing, getting his 1st catch of the day.
Great route by Nick Castle right there. Getting
Nick Castle, one of the newest members to the Simulation Football League. Certainly part of the influx of players that we've been seeing. so very wonderful to see everybody join in and experience the fun with us. So 1st and 10 from the 10. This is where Seattle has been struggling all day long. Once they get inside this right inside the 10-yard line there, they just seem to flounder.
Yeah, it's just as if they just run a room to do the plays that they want. And we know that they like to throw the ball to Tristan Carr and so on. And just, you don't have enough space to do those things.
We'll hand the ball off to Sandlin. He can't get any more than a yard on this carry as well. So it brings up a 3rd and 8. And will San Francisco get yet another stop within the 10-yard line?
I mean, that will be pretty amazing if they do. And I think Seattle will like to put all receivers here and just try to get the ball in the end zone.
There's junior, senior, the 3rd, Nick Castle. On the top side of your screen, Mason Kirby on the bottom. Look for them. Lillian Dula over the middle. It's caught. It's in the end zone. Touchdown. Seattle finally break through. They put 6 on the board.
And it's that man Vakadu who in the first half just torched this secondary, and great job getting open in the middle of the field.
We talked about how when they start targeting their larger receivers, their star receivers like Kirby, like junior, senior, the 3rd, it opens up space for Vakadu, and he finds himself a touchdown catch.
Yeah,
Seattle.
Chad guy.
They score with 5:26 in the 3rd quarter. PAT is good, brings it to 23-7. We'll go ahead and take a very short break. I hope you guys have been enjoying this game as much as I have. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music right here on 11 Sports. We are back, and Seattle will kick the ball away. Finally punching it in for a touchdown. Our first offensive touchdown of the evening, and now Gabriel Manning one more opportunity to try to return this one. Gets it all the way down to the 29. So San Francisco, they're starting to run out of time, Ramos. They've only got 5:22 left in the 3rd.
Yeah, and the thing is that what Seattle can cover is the deep throw with their safeties, and they can put pressure on the quarterback, and that's how they have been able to win so many games. They play with the lead, and they're able to control that lead. That's why they're so good.
As you see there, wild card race. Teams just on the bubble, 4-5. San Francisco would love to get up to that mark. They're 3-5 at the moment. They have quite a fight ahead of them. Matt Burnham on the catch there, picks up just about 6 yards. And they've got to start driving down the field, and they need to keep the ball. No more interceptions from Angus McLean. Second and 4. McLean takes the snap, hands it off to Powers. He rushes right up the middle. Will pick up the first down. Keep the drive alive, and this drive, I think it will be symbolic for the rest of the game. They need to get at least 3 points out of this, Ramos.
Yeah, at very least, you have to think that for their confidence and for their momentum, they need to get the ball in the end zone. Not been easy.
They're down 16. That one's just out of the hands. Looked like somebody got in there to break it up, but the way Powers was reacting, it looked like he just dropped it.
Yeah, just out of the hands of the running back there, Powers.
That'll bring up 2nd and 10. That does not help Angus McLean. 31.6 QBR in this game. up to this point. Having a rough day. We'll see if he can turn it around. Drops back to pass. Throws it out wide. It's caught. Gets 2 yards on the play. LJ Smith, the tight end. And I noticed, Ramos, that the past 2 interceptions, the second by Ajloni and Vasquez's interception, both of them were targets to LJ Smith. So that does bring up a 3rd and 8. Important down for Angus McLean. He's in the gun. 5 wide. Throws over the middle. Almost intercepted again. Just out of the hands of E.K. Vincent, but he breaks it up, brings up 4th and 8.
E.K. Vincent at one point of his career playing the secondary, and now as a linebacker showing that ball hawk ability that he has, and but unfortunately for him, unable to come away with the INT.
Looking for James Manzi on the throw, the rookie week 7 signing for the Sharks. They're unable to find that play, so now they will have to punt it away. It's been a rough game thus far for San Francisco. They certainly need something to go their way. This one will be fielded just about at the 15, out to the 21. We'll go ahead and take a very short break. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music. We'll be back in San Francisco just in a moment. Welcome back, folks. Seattle's ball from their own 21. 3:49 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Zach Sandlin, hard run up the middle. With this lead that they have, 16 points, Ramos, wouldn't be surprised if Zach Sandlin's getting fed the ball a ton.
Yeah. You know, at halftime, he had 13 carries. I will not be surprised if that number goes up to 35 carries by the end of the game, because they need to bleed the clock.
Right now he is at 18, just about 105 yards. Good day for him overall. He started very, very well. Gets the ball there again. Picks up about a yard. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Chet guy in the middle of the field. Again, you know, coming into this week, 87 tackles, and at this pace, he might get in this. That's the main guy, and you know, 3rd and 5. I will not be surprised if they give the ball to Sandlin one more time.
Does off to pass over the middle, caught, and just enough for the 1st down. Good run by Mason, or good route run by Mason Kirby.
And great toughness over the middle of the field, linebacker him, but able to get the 1st down, and Seattle has a fresh set of downs, and they might take this to the end of the 3rd quarter.
2:30 left in the 3rd. San Francisco's defense has been very good throughout the day. They faltered a little bit earlier on the last possession. Junior, senior, the 3rd. Making a catch over the middle, brings him out to the 50.
And I thought that was going to be intercepted. Camden Hoffman just flies to the ball and able to put the ball in a tight window is Jack Lindula for another 1st down. Junior, senior, the 3rd, with great hands and great concentration there.
There's the handoff to Sandlin. He rumbles his way down to the San Francisco 47. It's 2nd and 3 now. They've got to stop this run game if they want any kind of hope in this game.
And, you know, they are a little bit afraid of maybe a deep throw or something because those safeties are still covering deep. They're not going down to support on the run. And now that the Seattle will try to bleed the clock, could hurt.
Everybody up on the line for the defensive team. There's the handoff. Doesn't matter. He finds a way to pick up 1st and 10. And the time continues to bleed. Need some stops from the San Francisco Sharks in this game. This drive needs to end very, very shortly. They have had offensive woes. They need time to sort it out. That's another run by Sandlin. If you are interested in joining the Simulation Football League, you want to see yourself on the field, please visit our website, simulationfl.net. Join our Discord server. You can get all of that information on the website. There are so many people ready to meet you, ready to introduce you to the league, bring you into the fold, and get you going on these teams. Players are always, always needed. We can't wait to see you on the field. There's a throw right side. It's picked off. Jacques Luyendula throws a risky pass, and Jacob Gustafson with the takeaway. We will take a short break. San Francisco gets the ball back when we come back. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music right here on 11. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. San Francisco with the ball. They'll throw it out towards the right side of the field. Matt Burnham hauls his catch in, and that's a name we have not said too often this evening.
Yeah, not nearly as often as he has been named and mentioned throughout the season, with more than 1,000 yards, as we can see there on the graphic, 1,025 yards coming into the game. And I think that San Francisco, as good as Burnham and Manning are and everything, I think they need a little bit more balance. I'm surprised if in the offseason they try to get a running back to help them get some balance.
Absolutely. And another pick. Are you serious? Another interception. This time, Mario Martino comes up to make the play. And Angus McLean, it's just a rough day for him now. Look who they're targeting again. It's LJ Smith, 3 in a row.
Yeah, and you know, I understand you like your tight end, you like that route pattern, but Seattle has all of that covered completely, and they're getting job of getting in front of the receiver on those routes.
Seattle all of a sudden back with the ball. Good run by Sandlin. Just about gets to the first down marker, but that is the end of the third quarter. Crazy game here in San Francisco. We'll take a short break. Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on 11. Tonight's Simulation Football League broadcast on 11 Sports is brought to you in part by Nation's Best Football, helping NFL, college, high school, and youth players to help hashtag secure the bag, by ScoreStream, official live scoring app for the SFL, by Sector 6, custom esports jerseys and apparel and the exclusive SFL shop provider, and by SpyGoat, dedicated to the craft of audio. Aerial shots brought to you by AirViews, united by drone. Visit airviews.com to see more drone footage. Wonderful shots of San Francisco. Beautiful, beautiful San Francisco, Ramos.
It's still daylight here in San Francisco, Pacific time.
This game's not too beautiful for the Sharks at the moment, however. Good tackle. Chad Guy on the tackle. Gets yet another one added to his total. 3rd and 2 now, and this is going to be a big stop. And a quick update from the other game going on right now. Baltimore beating OKC 45-10 late in the third quarter. Baltimore having a wonderful season so far, and it looks to continue. Hit while he throws. That'll bring up 4th and 2.
Yeah, great pressure right there by Franco Zanardi. And it's what we expected San Francisco to do in the first 3 quarters of the ball game. Putting pressure on Jack Luyendula with that great defensive. Going to the Baltimore game, 45-10. Baltimore, probably the best team in the league right now. They beat Seattle, the only Seattle loss this season. And man, they will be 8-1 and basically a sure spot in the playoffs now. And probably the playoffs will go through.
Here's a punt all the way down the field. Will they trap them in? They will. Wonderful, wonderful play by the special teams. San Francisco, they've got a long way to go to battle back in this game, Ramos. They've got to start their next drive from the 3. So we take a look at the comparisons here, and Seattle having a great season so far. 6th in the league in offense, 7th in defense. And, what's surprising to me is that San Francisco, 21st overall in with how much of a struggle Angus McLean has had. He's thrown 4 interceptions on the day so far, and it has been the defense to bail him out every single time. Powers will run that ball right up the middle, brings it to a 3rd and 8 from the San Francisco 5.
And, obviously they want to try to get out of their own ends. They don't want to get sacked for a safety or something, but right now it's do or die, and you need to throw the ball here to try to win the game.
They have 4 wide this time. They opt to hand it off to Powers again. He goes nowhere, brings up 4th and 5. And with time winding down, Ramos, this is a decision that has to be made. Do you punt the ball away? You certainly don't want to give it up at your 8.
You don't want to, but at the same time, you have to play the probability game. I think you have to, even though it's hard.
They will go ahead and punt it away here. Robert Temps on the punt. Solid kick all the way out to the 50. That's a good field position, all things considered, from the Sharks after that unfortunate drive from them. So Seattle gets the ball back, 8:46 to go. They have a 23-7 lead, and one more time, yet again in this game, San Francisco is going to have to rely on their defense to find a stop. Luyendula in the gun, showing pass on 1st down. He throws over the middle. It's caught. Just down to the 35. Tristan Carr getting involved again.
He's so good in the middle of the field. I mean, he's a quick tight end. He is not, despite his size, he doesn't run stiff. He's very fluid in his route running and very good hands. So
This brings up a 1st and 10 from the 35, nearly in field goal range. You'd imagine the Sharks want to stop them as soon as possible. Nearly intercepted. Chad Guy out in coverage. He gets his big hands up there. He bats it away.
You don't think that, I mean, Clown, but if there's an probably Chad Guy, actually.
Well, Chad Guy has been all over the field throughout this game, making key tackles. He's run the bell of Sandlin at least a couple of times. He started to stifle the run game. He's even getting some pressure here. Actually, this one's fired over the middle. Good play by the coverage. Barry Barkley breaking that pass up, and Chris Leone, the other defensive end who's been in the play, nearly gets to the quarterback.
Great play by Luyendula in the pocket, just kind of stepping back and then stepping forward again to get some space, to get some time, and dangerous throw could have been intercepted.
Does bring up 3rd and 10. Luyendula throwing or showing pass again. Got 5 wide receivers. Takes the snap, steps up, throws over the middle. It's caught. Junior, senior, the 3rd brings him down to the 13.
That's just a testament on the arm strength of Jack Luyendula as he's delivers a perfect.
Absolute strike to junior, senior, the 3rd. Also blows a strike to the hearts of San Francisco. Now on to the 13. They're still looking for more. Would love to come away with 6 and really put this game out of reach. They throw it over to Sandlin on the right side. Can't get by Chad Guy, who hits him at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 from the 14.
Another beautiful play by Chad Guy, very quick on the outside, and makes a great tackle.
Interesting that Seattle has chosen to air this ball out as much as they have with time winding down in the 4th. They do opt to hand it off to Sandlin, who breaks a tackle. It's hit by 2 more, however. There's Barry Barkley again stepping up to make the play.
And Chad Guy came into the game with 87 tackles, has 12 tonight. Thank you, Chad Rowland, for the stat there. Away from 100, just...
He is certainly approaching that 100 mark. This one's out into the flat. Sandlin trying to bust his way into the end zone, gets stopped just short. Gustafson and Barkley there to make the tackle.
But a first and goal either way. The clock keeps running, and I think or Seattle, you give the ball to...
I'm sorry, that was J.J. Stallion, first man there. It's now 1st and goal from the San Francisco 2. Luyendula under center. He's got Sandlin in the backfield. Drops back to pass. Sandlin's open in the flat. Fires it over. Just gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle.
Nail in the coffin here against the San Francisco Sharks defense, who is right now gassed. I mean, valiant effort by them. Have played very, very good on, but now they look really tired out there.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. San Francisco has made stop after stop after stop. They were called upon to do it one final time, and were unable to do so. Seattle running away with this game now, should be 30-7. There it is. And with 5:57 to go, it's not out of the question, but with the way Angus McLean has been playing, it just seems like his confidence has been shattered. I'm not confident in him driving this team down the field.
Yeah, and you unfortunately really can't. I mean, it's a situation where has looked a little bit gun shy, and when he's tried to push the ball down, there's the 2 safeties and maybe another corner waiting to make another interception.
Manning brings the ball out to the 31. And Gabriel Manning, the only bright spot. I shouldn't say the only bright spot, but the only San Francisco Shark that's been able to put points on the board. Again, if you did miss it earlier on in the first half, he had the league-tying kickoff return touchdown. Overall, I should say, the tied for first place overall. So we'll have to move down the field now. Good first completion. It's Gabriel Manning on the catch. But Angus McLean, he's got to drive his team down the field at least a couple of times. He's been targeting LJ Smith. It just has not worked.
Yeah, it has to be Burnham and Gabriel Manning from here on out in this game. You know, your big targets you need to just push the ball to them and try to make some plays.
He takes the snap, throws it out to Matt Burnham, as you mentioned him. He takes it out to the 46, doesn't step out of bounds though. That's a bit of an error.
Yeah, doesn't stop the clock, does get the first. And, you know, if they can keep throwing the ball to Matt Burnham and Gabriel Manning get some yards after the catch, you know, they could score quickly and, you know, maybe just to score a game with about 4 minutes possible.
Throws it over the flat. Gets hit while he's trying to make the catch. Solid defensive stop. That's Powers on the target there. It will bring up 2nd and 10.
And maybe in a blessing in disguise right there, because if he catches the ball, it's just a 2-yard gain and the clock keeps running. At least now the clock stops and you have a 2nd and 10. Try to put the ball down the field one more time.
That was Angel Salinas up to make that play. First game for Angel Salinas, week 9 signing. Good play to break up that pass, but now it does bring up 2nd and 10. McLean in the gun. It's caught, but he only gets 4 yards right in the middle of the field. We'll go to the hurry-up offense, 3rd and 6 now. Watch the bottom of your screen. That's Matt Burnham. Gets hit before he can get the ball away. A huge sack. Denzel Maverick up to make the play.
There's that boy, Denzel Maverick. You know, great player last season. He just dominated offensive lines all season long under Stephen Molinax and the Laos Lobos. The team moves to Seattle, all the way to Seattle, but he's still a very dangerous player under Crash Combs and this Seattle defense staff.
Well, it's 4th and 14 over the middle, caught by Manning down the left side of the field. Keeps the drive alive, keeps San Francisco's hopes alive.
That's only the 2nd time that has worked all day. San Francisco very good defensively all day long, but for the 2nd time they are able to burn in deep, and now they're in the red zone.
I think this is the first time all day they've been in the red zone, Ramos.
I think this is the first time indeed.
We'll see what they can do here. 4:01 left in the 4th quarter. They throw it out to Matt Burnham. He makes the catch, doesn't quite get out of bounds, so they will go into the hurry-up offense. 2nd and 5 from the 13. Drops back over the middle one more time. Off the hands. It's intercepted in the end zone. Mario Martino gets his 2nd of the day, and that will certainly do it.
Yeah, that's final nail in the coffin. And I think that Manning was kind of wide open on the far side, and they try to force the ball to Matt Burnham in the end zone. That didn't work, and that's unfortunately the 5th interception for Angus McLean, as Seattle will now just run the clock.
Mario Martino, the undrafted rookie. 2 interceptions on the day. This is a huge run from Sandlin, breaking tackles as he goes. He's all the way down the field, gets down to the 25. Finally brought down, but Zach Sandlin.
Adding insult to it.
Just breaking tackle after tackle. picking up even more yards. He started the day so very well. Why not tack on a long run onto the end of this game here? So we do take a look at his stats. He's had 25 attempts, 174 yards. That last gain, 53 yards, longest of the day. Big shout out to Chad Rowland in working the stats tonight. Hand it off to Sandlin again. He can't get past the line of scrimmage. And it's all but clinical now.
And you know, Seattle, what a team. I mean, they can beat you so many ways. I mean, if the run, they have about 4 different receivers. If you can stop the pass, they have Zach Zandlin. If you can stop the run, they can get pick sixes just like they did. I mean, it's such a complete team that will be very good for the rest of the season and very interesting.
Near the 2-minute warning, and Twitch has had a lot of interceptions to react to so far this evening. Unfortunately, most of them going to the San Francisco Sharks. But we will take a very, very short break. When we return, the final 2 minutes of this wonderful game. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music, right here on 11. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to San Francisco. Final 2 minutes. Seattle with the ball, looking to run the timeout. We were talking during the break, Ramos. Seattle, they love to wear these teams down. I mean, they don't. It's never really. It doesn't look pretty when they do win these games, but they find ways to win. And this game has been absolutely dominated by Zach Sandlin.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's about depth. They are able. They don't really have a weakness. When you look at the roster, they have the pass rush, they have the run stoppers, they have the secondary, they have Zandlin, they have a great passing attack. So basically, they just play their. And at the end, if your defensive line is gassed, then if your secondary misses an assignment, then Jack Luyendula is all over your secondary. Like they are so they have such depth. They can win games in so many ways, and it doesn't look, but they just get the job.
Well, another field goal from Longfellow. He's 4 for 4 on the day. And that was kind of the story of the first half as well, Ramos. I mean, not a whole lot of offensive production from either of the teams. A crazy start to it. Started with a pick 6 and a Gabriel Manning return TD, but eventually Seattle's offense came alive. They found ways to put points on the board, and it has not been the same story for San Francisco.
I agree, and this is what great teams do. If you look, for example, at the previous game, Queen City and Alaska, both teams struggle scoring points, but at the end, it just clicked. They just figure it out, and you have two teams that combine for 7 championships, just playing their football and doing an amazing show.
Sharks will get the ball back. They look to be trying to go down the field quickly here. Here's the snap one more time out towards the right side of the field. It's caught, turning back inbounds is Burnham. He brings it all the way down to the 42. San Francisco's only got 2 timeouts. They still need to score quite a number of points. That one's over the middle. They're really not managing the clock too well. I mean, at this game, the game is just about over. It would be very difficult for them to score as many times as necessary right now. And, you know, it's nice to see that they are still playing to the end of the game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's no quit on them. There's no quit. The backups of Seattle are in, but you know, San Francisco, you know, they're playing in front of their home crowd. They want with
This is McLean throwing it out to Matt Burnham. He does make the catch enough for the first down from the 30. We're in the final minute of this fourth quarter. Seattle moving on to 7-1 Ramos. And as we mentioned earlier, Baltimore was having their way with Oklahoma City. So still a fight for that top spot in the league.
Yeah, you have teams chasing like Tallahassee. You still have the Aztecs chasing. You have Chicago fighting for that one spot.
San Francisco will drop to 3-6, and we were looking at the wild card race as we get closer and closer into playoff territory. Going down 3-6, while it doesn't put them necessarily out of the wild card picture, they're going to have a good end to their season to have a chance to make the playoffs. Final 23 seconds. Over the middle, caught for a touchdown. They finally find the end zone, and that time it's Aaron Judge on the catch over the middle. So the Sharks at least put 6 on the board, but they're still 20 points down.
Yeah, and you know, Angus McLean, you know, finally gets his touchdown. Long overdue, and good pump fake, good throw, and you know, hopefully he can build off of this kind of stuff for this upcoming game for San Francisco. Unfortunately, it looks for that, you know, maybe potential even wild cards. You never know, and you have to build your momentum for next year.
It is so interesting. I mean, it feels like this season has flown by. I don't know about you. Wow, that was a very close PAT that was almost blocked. But, you know, as we look at the wild card race, there are so many teams still vying for that chance. Las Vegas and London, for instance. I mean, Reggie Streeter having an absolutely amazing season, trying to bring that London team into the wild card race. And if San Francisco continues to lose games the way that they've been losing them, I'm so hard pressed to see them get into the playoffs.
And I will agree, and it's not because they're necessarily a bad team. It's just because look at the teams that are in the wild card. You know, Alaska, Sioux Falls, who beat Baltimore. You know, you have the Swarm, who beat London at the end, and they can put points. You have the potential league MVP and Reggie Streeter right there. You have a Vegas defense who shut down Sioux Falls this week. You have the 4-time champion Queen City Corsairs. Like, this is tough. I mean, it's not easy to. And it's not because they're a bad team. It's just because who do you take out?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all of those teams, you mentioned it, have wonderful chances of finding playoff berths. And, you know, it's going to be a wild ride coming down to the finish. But for Seattle, it's an ideal game for them. They played well all the way through. Their defense held up when they needed to. They gave up one special teams error, but, you know, really, can you expect your special teams to stop somebody like Gabriel Manning? I'm not sure. But,
right.
You know, outside of that, their offense played well. They played steady. Only one interception thrown by Luyan Dula, and he has had a great season so far. They just look like such a solid team. It's so very scary when you talk about those wild card teams and you compare them to Seattle, who just continues to play so well.
And this is a league where anybody can beat anybody. The 3-time champion Alaska Storm right now in the wild card, and you have the Queen City Corsairs who beat them in the wild card as well. I mean, it's so stacked at this moment here in the SFL.
Well, that will do it for us here tonight. The Tyrants take down the Sharks 33-14. And, you know, I was thinking about it as we were winding the game down, Ramos. This one, it's pretty difficult to find an MVP, but I almost kind of have to lean towards Ajloni. Of course, he had 2 interceptions this game, one of them for a touchdown. He kind of started the Tyrants on the right path.
Absolutely. And when this type of game happens, where, you know, the defense dominated and a lot of picks, for me is who set the tone early in the game. And it was definitely Mahmoud Ajloni with 2 interceptions and 1 pick.
You could make a case for Sandlin as well. Dominated on the ground throughout the day. So Chad Rowland in the stats truck for us this evening. Sandlin, 26 attempts, 174 yards, and, you know, it didn't seem like he was going to be stopped throughout the night. He picked up important first downs when he needed them, but all in all, I think it was a well-played game, solid team effort from Seattle.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, Chat Guy will be on top, you know, close to top of the leaderboard still in tackles.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, this is a team that has a lot of talent, San Francisco. Like, they have a lot of talent and they have a lot to build upon. Camden Hoffman, great corner. Chat Guy, great player there in the linebacker spot. Franco Sinati on the defensive line had a sack. They have obviously Manning and Burnham. You have to think that if they can get some balance on that offense, maybe a running back and get some run game, you know, San Francisco could be in the fight for next year.
Certainly agree. As there it is, Zach Sandlin awarded MVP of the game. 29 yards, 29 attempts, 179 yards. He did have a receiving touchdown. But that is it from San Francisco. I hope that you enjoyed this this evening as much as I have. My name is Jeff Lowe. With me, Ramos Lynn in the stats, Chad Rowland, and of course, Cameron Irvine, pushing the buttons behind the scenes. Thank you so very much for watching this presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music right here on 11.